Hello, Todd Clemens, Okeechobee Livestock Market, and here's your weekly market report. We had a good run of cattle this week. We had 900 head or so there Monday and Tuesday. For this time of year, that's not too bad. A little bit more than we had last year at this time. And last week we talked about the pasture conditions and high prices the way they are, and grass running short or brown because of lack of rain, sure enough, I think is causing people to bring some calves in a little bit early. I've heard people down south, on the south end of the lake down there, they're drier than we are, and we're bone dry. So that's not too good for them, but cattle do good in dry conditions. They're not fighting off skeeters and all that kind of thing, but calves are growing and cows are just trying to make a living the best they can on what they have. So hopefully we'll get some rain here before long. Usually the rainy season starts in June, maybe the first week or second week of June, and hopefully we can make it to then. Prices held up good this week. Most all classes of cattle were steady to higher. Cows and bulls were probably $3 to $5 higher. We had some bulls bringing up in the 190s. I don't remember a $2 bull this week, but I don't think we had that quality of bull here. I didn't see that one, but we had some good cows. Pretty good run of cows, about normal. 20 some odd percent of the sale were slaughter classes, and that's an average normal rate. When you get up over 20, if you get up to 30% or better of slaughter cows and bulls, that puts a little bit of pressure on the market. But these cows and bulls are, the numbers are kind of dwindling down and prices are picking up on them, and they're still selling that hamburger meat. I went to the grocery store the other day, and the lady ahead of us in her cart, she had chicken breast, I think it was, and 2 packs of ground beef. And that's what people are shopping for now. These steaks, these higher ends of cuts are on up there in price. The box beef prices are extremely high. They're higher than they were back in the COVID days. That back there in 21, I think those box beef prices are up there around 350, and looks like they're probably maybe hitting a little bit of resistance at that price level. Meat slowed down, not moving quite as fast. But grilling season is just around the corner, so everybody's kind of waiting to see how that beef demand is at this high price level. And if those packers, if they can sell it at a high level, that's what they're going to do, and they're going to try and mark that beef as high as they can, because they're having to give a lot of money for these cattle coming out of the feedlots. April fat cattle went off. They were lead month, and June will be the next month coming up, and I think June is trading somewhere around in the 210 to 212 area. And there's reports of fat cattle trading out there in the Midwest and Iowa, and some of those top end fancy cattle, some of those fat cattle are trading for up to 220. So this market, this is a really, really high market. It's a bull market, and there's not a lot of resistance simply because of inventory and fewer cattle. But the processing number of head per week that are being processed through the big four packers and all the big major packing plants is down into the 500s. And last year this time we were looking at probably over 600,000 a week to 625, and now we're down in the 550 to 560. 560 to 560,000 head a week coming out of those packing processing plants. So they've cut back on their kill rate. They've slowed that chain speed. Some of them are only killing maybe 4 days a week and taking Friday off. They're just simply trying to manipulate and maneuver their inventory and how much meat is out there on the meat counter for you to buy at your local grocery store. But that's, hey, that's the way business works, and everybody's trying to make a dollar, and they're no different than the rest of us. But on the producer end of it, if you're a rancher and you've got cows, and you're in a pretty good position right now, because you're kind of in the driver's seat, just like the feedlots. They're kind of naming their price on these cattle coming out of the feedlots. They're talking about those cattle may be $2 to $3, maybe $4 higher this week. So for our market here and the markets in the state of Florida, it just looks like these good prices are going to be around for a little while. Of course, nobody knows what's going to happen with the world global events that are going on, and the tariffs that we've been talking about and hearing about every day. If you want to turn on the news, that's all you hear about. But they're working some deals out there with Ukraine, with the metals and the precious minerals and things like that. So that kind of sparked the market a little bit. The futures on the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ and all that is up and down, but right now it's up again. It's just whichever day you pick. One day things are looking good, and one day things aren't looking so good. But the way it looks like for the longer run, it's looking like this thing is going to level out and be all right. Cow numbers are down. It's going to take a while, even if this herd does get built up, to get those numbers up where it's going to be a oversupply of cattle. So if you got them, hold on to them. Don't turn loose of them. They may be worth something one day. They're worth quite a bit right now. So those some of our prices. I was looking at the market report here. I'll just tell you what we had, and this is a generalized report that we send out every week, and it's on our website, okeechobelivestockmarket.com. But on the number one steers, weighing 3 to 350, that weight range of 300 to 350 pounds, they were trading from $425 to $495. That's almost $5. So that's $1,500 or better for a 3-weight calf. The 4 to 450 weight range, they were trading from $320 to $397. So you're looking at about $1,600 on those cattle. And the 550 to 6-weight calves were bringing $285 to $340. So that's pretty good money right there on those steers. You're bumping $1,800 on those steers right there. But the heifers they're discounting those heifers pretty good bit. On our producer sale we had last Thursday, most of those cattle are straight loads of steers and straight loads of heifers. But there are a few loads that are half steers and half heifers. They're called mixed loads. So you set the price, and the buyers are buying the steers, and then we discount the heifers, what we think the market will bear or what the going discount rate is for heifers. And most of those cattle were sold with a 20 cent discount on the heifers compared to the steer price. And if you look at this market report, you'll see these heifers are trading, some of them 30 or 40 cents behind the steers. Don't really know. That thing fluctuates. Sometimes, man, that thing will get up there to close to 10 to 15 cents different on heifers, but now it's a little bit higher than that. So you got to kind of keep an eye on that. If you're selling mixed loads of cattle, the guys that are buying those cattle, and they're buying the steers, if the heifers are not discounted enough to justify what the market is on those heifers, then they're going to dock the steer price to make the heifers line up to what the market is. So all that is taken into consideration when you're buying a semi-load of calves. You're talking 50,000 pounds at one whack, and you're giving, like on those 500-pound calves, you're giving $1,500 a head. That's pretty good chunk right there on one semi-load. So those guys are sharpening their pencils and doing some figuring when they bidding on those cattle. But yeah, it was a good week, and like I said, we had a good producers cattle auction sale last Thursday. I think there were 18 or 20 loads of calves on that sale, and everybody sold those calves and were tickled to death. It wasn't hard to get a bid on them. We had a lot of buyers, had a couple of new buyers that logged in that were vetted and approved to bid on our website there, and had some new interest. And there's just shows you that these calves are in demand, and that there's not as many of them out there as there used to be. So that's good for us, good for marketing your cattle. So it's just kind of hard to go wrong. Whatever you're doing right now, it's all going to kind of work out. That's about all I know right there. We do have some high prices, and this thing is so little I can't even hardly see it, but that helps. On the calf side, We had a little calf brought in by Gerald Cannon from Port St. Lucie. That calf weighed 185 and brought $6.60. That might be the highest that I've seen, $6.60. That is not a misprint. And the calf was bought by DNS Cattle. On the cow side, on the slaughter cow side, Corrigan Ranch, once again, if it's not 7-Eleven or Williamson Cattle or J. Walpole or Corrigan Ranch, I don't know who it's going to be, but those guys always bring some really good cattle in here. And Corrigan Ranch from Vero Beach, Utah, at the cow market with a 1,350-pound cow. She brought $1.62, and that cow was bought by Florida Beef. That's a pretty good report right there. We appreciate your business. Thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. We'll keep bringing the news to you. We'll tell you what we think. It could be right, it might be wrong, but it's what we think. See you next week.